Thank you so much. It's so wonderful to be among friends and colleagues. I'm sorry and saddened that we can't be together in person, but I'm looking forward to the next time we can. Until then, I hope that everyone stays safe and healthy. Um, Today, I'm going to give a low-tech presentation about what I think might be the new focus for digital services moving forward, which is not best practices for our products or the outcomes, but best practices for ourselves and our institutions. And I'm going to try to do that in the time I have by running through USDS's values. We have 6 core values that we put forward to all of our employees and also to all of our colleagues in the civil service that define how we work and what we stand for. The first is to hire and empower great people. Um, and I think everyone knows that we want the best technology talent in government, but I want to highlight the fact that the best people with the best intentions don't always build the best products. I think it's also important that we as institutions focus on recruiting and building not just great teams, but cross-functional teams filled with not just engineers, but also design and product professionals. I think it's important that we build teams that represent many points of intersectionality and also represent the people that we serve. When we do that, we protect ourselves not just from making mistakes in a technical perspective, but also by empowering a diverse cross-functional team, we ensure that all the viewpoints of the people that we are building for are represented on the teams that are doing the work. Hopefully that will lead to products that then meet the needs of the people we serve. Our second value is find the truth and tell the truth. It seems quite simple, but it's not always that way. I think it's important not just to tell people that they need to tell the truth, but to create an environment where the truth can be told without repercussions. There are structural things that we have done to ensure that, such as putting in term limits for digital service professionals that ensure that they're not out working toward a career, but they're working toward a goal of helping people. So when they're presented with an opportunity to tell the truth, but if that truth might prevent them from being promoted, we create an environment where there is no promotion potential. Like they have a limited period of time to deliver products for the people, and in doing so, they don't need to fear repercussion for their careers. I also think that it's important to depoliticize the notion of digital services. Technology is not a goal in and of itself. It simply furthers the goal of the government. It helps solve things like the last mile problem for many people. And so the farther we can pull digital services away from the politics of the day and push it towards the goals and the outcomes required from the civil service and the government itself, the more likely we are to have an environment where people feel comfortable speaking up and saying what's right. Lastly, I think as leaders, we need to push authority down to the people that are doing work. We need to trust the people that we have hired and empowered, but we also need to retain responsibility at the highest levels. I have often disagreed with my teams, quite frankly, and I've been wrong. But I've had the faith in them to trust them because they are closer to the work and closer to the people that they are serving, that they are producing the right results. Um, so I'm going to combine, in the interest of time, the next 2 values. One is optimize for results and not optics. And the second one is go where the work is. I think it's important that we, as digital service professionals, take on the projects with the greatest need, not necessarily those with the trendiest outcomes or the flashiest headlines. Avoiding things like artificial intelligence and even native mobile applications, USDS focuses on building simple web forms, building accessibility tools that make government work not for those that have the most modern technology, but for those at the fringes of society, for the people with the least access and the least knowledge about government. Our gold standard for building products is to build a product that will work on a library computer connection, a public library connection, at 256K dial-up, as if we were accessing the internet over the phone, like we did in the 80s. If we can build a product that meets the needs of people that have that kind of access, then we can build products that meet the needs of our entire country. The fifth value at USDS is to create momentum. And I think this is particularly interesting for this group because it's oftentimes we set goals as governments, such as we need to move to the cloud, or we need to improve customer service, or be agile. But these goals are oftentimes unattainable. They have timelines of 4 or 5 years, and they lack a focus with where to start and how to finish. Instead, I recommend setting much smaller goals, much more tangible goals, goals related to individual people. Goals like signing 500,000 veterans up for healthcare by the end of the year. In doing so, we can build small products that have discernible outcomes in the near future that seem achievable and are achievable. Things like making it easier for doctors to do paperwork so they spend more time with patients and less time at a computer terminal. If we can build products like that, and if we can build enough of them, what we will do is we will actually deliver on the promise of better government. And in doing so, when we build enough of those products, we will teach people to be agile. We will move to the cloud, and we will in fact improve customer service writ large across the government. Too often I'm asked for the end result, which is digital government, instead of being asked for a human result, such as people getting access to services. The interesting thing about all of these values is that they sort of culminate in our final value, which is designed for users, designed with users, not for them. This is really ultimately the change that we want to see in the world. Technology, like I said, is not a goal in and of itself. And so if we are focused on users and user needs, if we listen to the people that we serve, if we empower and employ those people to solve problems, they will help us find the truth. They will help us set the goals and metrics that we need to succeed. And ultimately, their success will be our success. So my final sort of bit here is that I want to talk about what the purpose of digital services are for. If we can structure ourselves and our institutions in a way that they can do these things, that they can focus on user needs, that they can hire and empower great people, they can find and tell the truth about difficult subjects, and create momentum that lasts beyond the digital service itself, beyond the product itself, but in fact creates a desire to do more good for more people within the agencies that we serve. I think ultimately the point of a digital service then is to empathize with the needs of real people and people in real need, then to communicate that need to whoever it takes as clearly and succinctly as we can, to rally support for the goal and to change the metric from did we digitize a form to did we make good on the promises that we've made to citizens. If we do that, we can reach our ultimate goal, which is that we make a government that is open, transparent, available, and honest, not just for some, but for all. And we can meet people not where we think they are or where we hope they will be in a digital world, but where they are today, using the resources that are available to them and the access that they have. If we can build from the bottom up, if we can build with users in mind, and the goal is to deliver simple services through government, through technology, instead of boiling the ocean of making everything digital for digital's sake, I think we'll achieve our real goal, which is increased faith and increased trust in government itself. And that is where I think digital services bring the most value. Thank you so much for inviting me to talk. I look forward to discussing with many of you afterwards. But for today, that's all I have.